All right, it's July 21st, 2023. We're here in Withers Swash, located in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, to tell you a little story. Yeah, this beautiful tree's hanging out over the swash there, and there's about a half a dozen of these swashes all up and down the Myrtle Beach area here. This one happens to be sitting alongside this Swashbucklers disc golf course they have here, and there's a trail. And we're going to follow all the way back to the ocean and talk about this swash and how it got its name. This is one of their disc golf hole 14 par 3 distance to the hole, I guess. I see them little baskets, they throw them up toward there, I reckon, them around in different ways. I've never played it. They got a playground up there too. So back in the day, this area was empty and all wilderness, and the only people lived here were the Withers family, and they'd gotten all this land from the king. They got about 66,000 acres, so they owned about all of Myrtle Beach, all the way down to Georgetown, probably up to Little River. And they lived there for a long time, and then their family eventually ended up here because of during the Civil War, the Union troops were coming in and hassling them so much they decided to get out of that area and come build a house up here on the swash. And they built it up on a hill here somewhere, so I can imagine it may be right up there. And just noticed the bench way out there. I was trying to figure out, got a little distracted, figure out how I got all out there like that. It's a beautiful swash. Anyway, they come up here and built them a house, and they were trying to grow crops at first, but this soil's all sandy and all, and couldn't really get anywhere with that. So they eventually locked into the timber industry and started cultivating all that, and that became very profitable for them. So that's how they ended up here. And they built a beautiful 2-story house right up here on this hill somewhere, I imagine. Did very well. I guess there's some other people that lived around them. And a storm came calling one night. It's a hurricane, but they didn't know it, I don't think. It was September of 1822, about 21, let's see, yeah, 1822. It's 101 years ago, am I right on that? No. I'm not right on that at all. Y'all do the math on that, because I'm dumb, I guess. But anyway, September 1822. Yeah, a couple hundred years ago, I reckon. 201 years ago. Anyway, man, that's an interesting looking tree. Anyway, y'all do the math and comment below. Make sure we're right on that. Anyway, a storm got to coming, and they knew it was a storm. It was going to be pretty bad, but they didn't have the technology we have back then. And so a bunch of them got together in the Withers house. I don't know how many total. And they lit the house up with candles, probably having them what we'd call today is a hurricane party. But they figured the house was on high ground. They'd be good up here. And that storm come in that night. Winds are blowing. Big surge come up through here, about probably like the one they had down there in the Gulf with Katrina. I don't know how much water it took, but it rolled up in here in this swash. Nothing really stopping it. Picked that house up level and was floating it back down toward the ocean with the candle still lit. And that's what the people that I guess weren't in the house, that's what they had saw, and that's what they reported. Well, it wasn't too long for another surge come in there, hit that house and tore it to shreds and killed 18 people inside. And that was a terrible day for the Withers family, and after that they decided to move on out of the area. And it sat just vacant for a long time until more people come down here and started different things. So you can imagine, the ocean's not far. You can see those buildings over there. Where you see that little slingshot tower sitting up there, that's a little amusement park there right on the other side of Ocean Boulevard there. We'll be down there in a minute. That's where the ocean is. So you can imagine, this thing filled up with water fast. And I'm looking at this landscape, and I tell you, that's the highest point. So I don't know if that's where the house was, but it makes sense to be. Seems pretty flat everywhere else. And for y'all that don't know, a swash is more of a southern term, and it's basically where salt water meets fresh water of a stream, and that's what's happening right out here. And it's just like a little marsh area, just like the bigger ones that are on rivers. Let's go on back and head on down toward the ocean. The legend has it, in the early 20th century, there was a ghost story down here, and this place wasn't built up then, of course, and they would claim on any big, dark, stormy night, you wouldn't see ghosts, but you'd see that house all lit up floating down toward the ocean. Can you imagine? That's a good story. And if you would see something like that, you would be shaking, I'm sure. Today, houses all around it, and I'm sure it could have been bigger than what it is now. You know, they grade all around those sides there and kind of contain it a little bit. I just thought y'all would be interested in that little story as we walk down through here and talked about it, because a lot of people just go up to the beach area and they don't think about the history of this town. I did a little town center video a few days back. If you want to see their town center, talk a little bit about the history there. From what I read, you know, I just kind of go online and check things out and try to remember them as I repeat them to you. So here's another course, and you can ride these trails, walk these trails. I forgot to tell you, if you go on out and cross the road up there, there's another park, and it's Newtown Park, I think, and it's they got a dog park up there. And there's another disc golf course not too far from here called I want to say Splinters or something like that. Logan's gonna have to correct me on it. I don't think it's quite it, but maybe Splinters disc golf or something like that. And it got its name during World War II, when the military built some quick housing out there. I guess it was so bad everybody was getting splinters. So that's kind of, they paid homage to that and named it for that. And that Newtown Park gets the name Newtown because Myrtle Beach was called Newtown at one time. They considered Conway to be the old town, so they would call this Newtown. And of course, they built a railroad down here to get all the wood and stuff like that. You hear helicopters going overhead because they're giving those tours as we get closer to the beach. It's beautiful down here. I'll tell you what, if I was going to live in Myrtle Beach, this would be a nice place to pick. I'm trying to figure out how that disc golf works. I see a basket there, so I guess you stand on one and sling it the way you're facing. You guys play, let me know. Anyway, we're going to jump on ahead and get a little further down the trail. So we're coming up on Highway 17, and that's called the King's Highway, and the water's starting to flow a little bit here. I asked some guys up there about the disc golf. He said you just stand here and go in the direction that it's facing there. So that's cool. Gotta know what you're doing, I reckon. He said it's a lot of fun, takes him out to a lot of cool places, but I really am interested in this right here. This is cool to me. I love finding little places like that. Look at that tree, all the roots down in there. That's cool. So I don't know if they've contained this swash as it goes down. Maybe it was wider all the way at one time. And you guys know, comment below. Let's keep going. We can start seeing the swamp fox over there, roller coaster. And I hear another helicopter going by. All right. Well, let's take the corner and jump on ahead. So you can still see we're getting into some commercial areas now. Now, as we come up on this first building here, looks like I might have to go left to get on across, but I wanted to come on down here and show you what commercialization does to a swash. So you can see trash is all down in here as we get closer. This water's out of it now. I guess it'll fill up as the tides roll in and out. Make sure you don't get bit by no snakes or any other kind of critters. You can see people have been down in here. There's a roller coaster over there. And there's that little gazebo we were sitting out on in the distance. That's how far we've came. All right, let's walk around the corner and see what this will look like, and then we'll probably jump ahead again. Yep, we're up in some kind of parking lot now. We'll have to pick it up on the other side there. After we cross 17, I guess, or maybe before. So we're up on Highway 17, known as the King's Highway. Main run down the coast here, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Taking a right, and I think that's going to be my trail over there, but I'm going to go down here and look. Here's where we were earlier. Yeah, there's the trail sign over there. It says Withers Swash. Looks down. Let's take a look down here and see how bad it looks. Not too bad. They built a wall up over there. I bet that swash was wider at one time on both sides. I would have to guess, but I'm not sure. Right here at Kakalaki Fish Company. All right, I got to do some frogging to get across, so I'll meet y'all on the other side. And we made it across. We're right here at the Withers Swash Boardwalk. As you can see, got a little train that goes around at night. Got the roller coaster there and carousel. And there's where we come across. Just for your reference, got a little railroad. Like I said, it comes around. I guess the train moves later on tonight. We'll see that. And this is the Family Kingdom Amusement Park, Myrtle Beach's only seaside amusement park, and it is now since the pavilion one got torn down. My brother and I, we always stayed down there at the pavilion hotels and all. We had all that amusement down there, but we got older, we got bold, and we'd walk up here to this Family Kingdom. That's quite a walk back then. It was mostly just houses in between there, and it was kind of dark, and they'd have a few hotels, but it wasn't lit up all the way like it is now. It's like a big adventure for us. We come in here and ride these rides, and then me and my dad ride that roller coaster there, so we have fun on that. We'll walk through it and let you see, and then we'll see if we can get over close to the swash again. Everything's off right now. It's about 1 or 2 o'clock, I'm guessing. Nice carousel there, and they got the bathrooms over there, and this little bridge I guess we'll cut across. You don't have to pay to come in this park, you just pay for what you do. So another interesting story about this swash, here it is right here. Now I guess we stay on this side. Another interesting story about this swash is that where that roller coaster is, Swamp Fox. That's where during the Civil War, a couple of longboats came in off the USS. Man, I knew I was going to forget that name. Oh well, y'all have to look it up. And Kenneth is good about that. Kenneth, look it up for me. He'll tell you. They came in and destroyed what was called salt works. And they had these salt works in this area because the Union had cut them off from getting their salt supplies, and they needed it for food preservation and tanning and all kinds of other stuff, I imagine, so it was important. And what they'd do, they set up these big pans and fill them with salt water and lay them on top of these brick fire pits they'd made with holes to get good air through and all, and it would dry out and they would get that salt in there. And I think that army came in and destroyed about seven of them that was in this area. And they also went up to where the dunes is now, and they destroyed one up there. It's called Cane Patch, I believe. I think it's called Singleton Swash now. But that was an important thing back then, and if you was working in one of those salt work areas, you didn't have to go fight in the war. It was still dangerous because people were coming here to tear them up, so you had to defend them. But apparently when they came in, everybody took off because it was undefended at the time, from what I read. Let's go on. It's weird being in this park empty. It'll be, like I say, it picks up at nighttime. Got all kinds of rides, mostly for little kids. You can go down either side of this water, as you can see. I'm trying to decide if I'll cut over or not. So we'll just keep walking. Let's just see everything as we get a little closer. Little boats and things, a little Ferris wheel, balloon type thing there for kids to ride. I love these little parks for little kids. It's just laid back, not very stressful. Nothing big for big kids really. They may have a few like the roller coaster and stuff like that. I want to go across because it's a bridge. It says Swamp Fox coaster since 1966. Yeah, I want to get a look at it. I remember the first time I rode that thing when I was little. Just had a bar that dropped down into your lap, And when you come off that hill, I was a little kid, I'd just fly up in there and hit that bar. That thing would sling you around, bounce you around all over the place. And it, definitely old wooden roller coaster fun doing that. So that's cool. So, all right, well, let's step on ahead. We'll go up there to where that orange thing is there in the log flume. As we go along, I see this. I guess it's like a little thing that goes up and down and swirls around. The kids ride on it. But when I was about 7 or 8, maybe 9, I can't remember. It used to be a thing real tall like that, but it was like a little rocket ship, and it would take off and you'd go over the top and come straight back down. And I remember we were playing some of the games in this area, and I wasn't winning. I got mad and running out crying, pitching a fit like kids do. And my mom sent my brother out to calm me down. He brought me a little necklace, had like a totem pole thing on it, and I had that thing, and he took me to ride this thing. And I was clenching that thing. We went over the top, and I guess I dropped it, lost it. Yeah. For some reason, that meant a lot to me, and I hated that I lost it, I guess because he gave it to me. We went on with life and made it through. It's just weird the things you'll think about when you spot something from a place you were spent a lot of time in as a kid. I got a lot of cool new rides here, that's for sure. Rocking tug. We've got lightning and all on that. Big storm. Boy, we had a big lightning storm last night. I was walking the Myrtle Beach boardwalk doing a video down there, and that storm would come up, and I had left my awning out on my RV. My wife was still up there at the campground, and she called me. She said things about to turn over, and I had to hurry up and finish up and get on up there. And man, I had to drive through the worst rain I'd been to in a long time. Flooded, everybody's pulling over, and got up there, and by then the storm was over. But the awning had tracted itself in partially way, so that was good. But I had a couple of braces I made holding it I put on it when I'm down here and it's windy, because I don't like the way it shakes around. Yeah, she was none too happy that I was gone. I left that thing out. There's the log flume. Another little Ferris wheel type ride there in the slingshot thing. As we come up on Ocean Boulevard, I forgot to tell you, Highway 17 is called what did I say it was? Kings Highway. When George Washington did a tour of the southern states, he'd come all down through there. That was the way he came. Of course, it wasn't a big 6-lane road then, probably just dirt. And he stayed up in Windy Hill, close to where I'm staying now. And the next day, he'd come on down through there, and of course, he had to have somebody lead him over. Withers Swash, you had nowhere to cross. So all these little waterways that we just ride over with a bridge like that, and we don't even think about it anymore. And that was a big obstacle back in the day, getting through all these wetlands. And there's a lot of them around here. If you look from the sky or maybe Google Earth, you'll see. A lot of them kind of been tamed like this, though. All right. We're here at the WR. There's a draft sports bar on the other side. We're close to the beach now, so I'm going to leave this on. Hopefully, you'll stay with me. Withers Swash boardwalk. There again. There's another cool ride where they strap you in and sling you up in there like a slingshot. Got some kind of ride you can go across right there. All right, Frogger time. Frogger time. Let's do it. So here's where it comes out like all the others. Flowing on down through here, and if you ever cross one of these, now you know what it's called. Got a parasail banana boat stand over there. Looks like they're gonna build another big hotel over there or something. I believe that was a water park right there at one time. They tore it down. I guess it wasn't making enough money. So we'll see what comes there in the years as we go. The years ahead as we go. Everybody's down here in this hotel. They got a pool right here. Everybody's sitting there, and you can buy some food at the beachside marketplace. There's some kids down there in the Swash. And I'll tell you what, the old Swash, this ain't as pristine as it used to be. You've seen all the garbage and stuff, and all the runoff from cars and things. I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff in there. Them kids seem to be having no problem. I guess they'll be immune to everything by jumping in the Swash. But it'll make its path out here, do curl back and forth whichever way it needs to, make different paths over time as the sand changes. Anyway, let's go on out a little bit further and get away from that music so I can talk to you. Somebody got 27 down there, so I'm assuming they had a birthday. That's cool, taking a little picture. There's those banana boats. They're getting ready to pull out somebody right now. That's a lot of fun. You can see on down the street, Second Avenue Pier. I did a pier-to-pier walk. If you want to check out that video, I came from the Apache Pier to Apache Campground, walked all the way down to that pier on the beach, so you can check the beach out. That was about an 8 or 9 mile walk. And I also got one going from the Apache Pier to Cherry Grove Pier. I did those 2 days straight, and I was tired on that second day. And the time I got to Myrtle Beach, I did a boardwalk video after that, and I was kind of sluggish by then. You can see all the high rises up through here now. But long ago, in my time, these have been little small buildings, and then before that, Withers Swash would have had their house up there and probably been the only people there here. And before that, the Waccamaw ruled the area, and this beach we called a grandstand was called Long Bay, I believe. Long Bay. And I think they mostly went up around the little river there though and fished for food and stuff like that. All kinds of interesting history here in Myrtle Beach. If you check it out and you can learn about it, you can find some cool facts like I did. So I hope you enjoyed this walk and talk of Withers Swash. If you did, I appreciate it. If you like, subscribe, and share. Y'all take care.